Okay, guys, you ready? We're going to make the glow-in-the-dark fireflies. Okay, and we paint them with regular acrylic paint in all the colors, red, yellow, green, blue, purple. But we put glow-in-the-dark paint on them after, and then you can kind of see it. It looks like glue. That's the gel that I put the powder in, the glow-in-the-dark powder, turns clear, but you can you can see it. I put it on the moon too, and you can see like it's like crunchy. It's the powder. Because they paint stuff with it, like street signs and everything to make them glow in the dark. Okay, so we're gonna paint the stars, easy. Then the background of the moon and the moon, because we need this to dry so we can put glow in the dark paint on it before we put the tree on it, so that the tree will show at night. Okay, then we put the jar, and the last thing we do is the grass. No, the grass. Then the last thing we do is the glow-in-the-dark paint, and I think we're going to have to paint it flat like this when we put the glow-in-the-dark paint on it, flat on our table, so the glow-in-the-dark paint stays where we told it to. And it will take like 30 minutes to dry, and then you could pick it up and look at it. But we can't, because it will be, who got theirs runny? Who's had a little bit too much water in it? Like me. I know, me too. Because I have no idea what I'm doing, because I never had to get it wet before. Anyway, so we're gonna paint the stars first, and we're gonna use the stick, but not this big yellow one. That's too big of a star. We're gonna find our little blue paintbrush, but we're gonna use the stick. And it's like a miniature fingerprint, right? It'll just make a perfect circle, but it only lasts for like 2 or 3 stars. Poke straight ahead. If you go like this, stab, 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 they go dash across the painting, and then they don't look like stars. It just literally looks like you spazzed out and went like that, right? So we go poke, poke. So we need white paint. Find white. She literally looks white. Hey, I'm also looking at my yellow paint that looks like it's too dried together. But this, I won't have to add water. Oh, yes, I will. Look at my yellow. Cuss and swear. I stir it. It just turns back to gooey. Did I just throw paint at myself? There. That's better. I'm constructing with my... see, I was too careful with the white that time. I mean, too careful with the water. Wow. Did the yellow open or something? How did he lose all his water? Does anyone else have dried yellow? I'm annoyed. Yeah. Yeah, you can get water in it and smash it. If it has mold in it, it's just because mold will eat anything with water in it. You just smash it in there. You're not eating it. My blue paint smells like pond water, because whatever they make the blue pigment out of, bacteria likes to eat. So water plus anything, bacteria will eat it. So all of a sudden I start using my blue paint, and I'm like, pew! Bacteria is in it. And there, mine's a little better. Okay, I fixed my yellow. That's a lot of work. Now I gotta clean my paint, but okay. All over my hand. Okay, back to the white. Okay, so I'm gonna use my stick, and look at all the stars, right? So when my first landing is gonna be my biggest, like a planet, right? Then as I go farther away, they get smaller into the microscopic little specks. So I give it permission to run out of paint, but stars do not grow in a line. You math people are gonna try to put it in a line. They're not in a line. They jump around like this. And the stars are going to touch, well, not down here in the grass, down, but here and the bottom, near the grass, the sides, around the moon, right? So I use my stick and I just touch the white paint, pook. And my first one is super bright. Okay. But then I go further away, and I jump far away, and they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Until that one has to be like a million light years away. But you have to go straight ahead. You don't want to go dash. Huh? What the? White. White and my stick of my blue paintbrush. But look at how it looks like it has paint on the sides. That's not going to make any stars. I have to keep putting it on the tip. Only the paint that's on the tip makes a star. But don't put them all close together. You go boing, then that one far away and far away and far away and far away and far away, far away, far away. Oh, I like the miniaturist ones because those got to be fun. We're making stars. Are you painting with us today, Alexander?
I don't know where to start.
Right now we're using our white paint and our blue paintbrush. Hey, I see people without their plastic aprons. If you want to put those on. Alexander has his apron on. Where's your black canvas and your paints and your paintbrushes?
My paintbrushes are right here in my thing.
And where's your paint? Where's your paint at?
My paint's right here.
Okay, and you got your little blue paintbrush? Yep. And you know what's better is if I can see your painting, it will help me too. If I can see your paint, I don't need to see your cute face. If I can see your painting, it helps me to know if I'm going too fast or giving good instructions. Okay, that's not enough stars. I need more stars. And look at it, I have a bunch of paint on there. But is it going to make any more stars? No, I have to keep putting it on the tip. And then after I think I did a good job, look at the teensy tiny ones when they disappear. Bounce, bounce. Oh, around my moon, I forgot. La, 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 on the other side of the jar. When you first get paint, it's a giant planet. And then they get farther away. Okay, you want to see something weird? How many of you put them exactly 3 fingers apart? Why did you do that? You weirdo human. It's because you're a human brain. It's your parents' fault because they were human. But humans like patterns. So you thought you were putting them like stars, but you actually created a perfect grid. Right? So now let's make some, or they're 2 fingers apart. Some people will put more of them and they'll just close the gap. How about if we make little galaxies? And we put like 5 in a family, and I just go boom, 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 boom. And then boom, 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 boom. Hey, that looks more like space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that was 6. All right. 1, 2, 3. That's good too. And look at me break up the pattern. The pattern is broken in your mind, and you're no longer evenly spacing them out, you human. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There, that's better. Oh, down by the grass, I didn't put enough. Look at, they're all evenly spaced apart. I'm so weird. Human brain. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There. Breaking the pattern of my, you know, when they do a satellite picture of the Earth from space, and they say anything that's evenly spaced apart, they go there, and it's an old human civilization. We do that. We put things evenly spaced apart. And since we were little, how long have we been practicing putting our letters and numbers evenly spaced apart? We have a well-trained brain. So we revert to what we know as getting applause. So did you put some random clusters? And then now, do you try to measure 3 fingers? And nope, 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 broke, nope. Yep, I I forgot on the other side of my jar. Boing, boing, boing. Boing, boing. I want some clusters over there too. Awesome. And what if we put our fireflies on top of the stars? So the stars are behind the fireflies. So you're just going to ruin them anyway. And maybe some will peek through. So remember that drip of glow-in-the-dark paint? I was going to put a firefly on it. I don't care. Or the one where I dashed to show you don't be like that. I put a firefly on it. And then we just clean your stick off when you feel like, yeah, that looks like space. Don't forget all the way down to the grass, because look what lives. Look at my original. Everybody pause and look up. Oh yeah, the stars are on the horizon, on the, because the earth curves. So yeah, there's stars down here too, because most of these other ones get covered up. Awesome. And then you clean your stick, clean. Or you could lick it off if you're weird. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's disgusting. It won't kill you, but you'll be mad. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna do the moon. And this line is a suggestion of a circle, right? Because humans, we can't draw circles. It's our human brain again. We can draw rainbows and smiles that make a circle, but it's very hard for us to make a circle. We just keep making it bigger and ruining it, right? So we're going to put this, but it's dark blue with a little bit of white on it. And now we have to talk about 3D. How many color values do you need for 3D? 3. Dark, medium, light. So if I paint this solid blue and put some specks of white in it and spiral in the white, how many color values am I rooting for? 3. So I got dark pieces that didn't get any white. I got lighter pieces and medium pieces and super dark pieces, right? But if I keep mixing it, I just get baby blue. And that is so boring. I can hardly stand it, right? I want 3D. 3D is interesting to look at. And it's going to be a spiral. Do you guys know the difference between a spiral and a circle? Right? Some people go like this and fill it with a bunch of baby circles. No. A spiral goes like this. I'm super big, and then I'm smaller inside of that, and smaller inside of that, and smaller inside of that, and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Or I go itty bitty and bigger, 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 bigger. Both are true. That's a spiral, right? But a circle is to keep doing this until it's all solid and, right? So now I'm going to get my blue. Where's my blue? She's dark blue. Fabulous. She's going to look like Blick on the canvas. But I just stab it like I'm mad. Because I'm mushing this in. Oh, with my big yellow paintbrush. And we're going to use and we use the tip. She's really sharp like this. Like that. So I'm more like trying to make my paintbrush flat. Like I'm peanut buttering it on. Like that. Not like this. It just keeps taking the paint back off. Watch, here's my example. Here's my piece of bread and my butter. And I'm going to butter my bread. No, that's just going to cut it. But if I lay it down flat, I can peanut butter it on. Right? With the flat side of the paintbrush, it's smoother. So I'm just going to first say goodbye to my pencil because I don't want to look at it anymore. So I'm just going to smash it. I smash it like a bulldozer. Now you can do it. I need more already. I got a scoop. And then who is able to do a smile or a rainbow and then you ran out? Exactly. So you just get more and do the smile part. And then the rainbow part, and then the smile part, and then the rainbow part. There. Because making a circle is hard for human brains. Okay, so it's blue. But now, can we make a spiral and make it smaller every time? And then when it gets dry, just get more paint. But I go, here's my big. Now I'm going to go inside of that a circle, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller, then smaller. Okay, so I get more blue. And I go, okay, I'm going to go on the inside. And I go, I'm driving my car. And then I go inside of that. And I go inside. Okay, I ran out. But I got pretty far. Some black showing, but I don't care because I'm going to do it again. Smaller, smaller. Okay, I made it. But look at, none of my lines touched each other. Right? It's a spiral. See? And then even with the thickness of my paint, do I have thick parts, thin parts? The thickness of my paint is dark, medium, light. Am I filling it with circles or making a spiral? Every time you go a little smaller, no scrubbies allowed. You push your paint like a bulldozer. Do you know what we're practicing right now? Making the tiny spirals. So if we understand it doing a big spiral, we'll understand it for make a small spiral. So okay, well, I still have black canvas showing. That's ugly. So let me try it the other way. From the middle out. So I land in the middle and I go bigger, 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 bigger. Okay, that was fun. Now it's solid. I don't know. I just tried to just do a woo and cover it all up. And now no black is showing. Hey, Adam, I think you made a bullseye. Can you make a spiral and spin it and go big, then smaller, 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 or small to bigger, 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 bigger. Ew, there is a lump of blue on mine. I'm going to get it off. Get off my paintbrush. There. Okay, now I'm going to swirl that in. It was up near the... There. It had pushed itself up into the paintbrush. It was... Look at this. I hit a star. I made baby blue. I can't wait. You guys ready to add white? Okay, how much white do you think it is?
Moon blue?
We did the whole with blue. We did the whole moon with blue. We're making the idea of a glowing moon an idea, right? It's not really a glowing moon, right? It's the idea of a glowing moon. Okay, now I need some white, but the whole thing could turn white because it could. So how much white do you think I need? Ich speck. Could I get more if I needed it? Yeah. But could I get less? No. So I better be safe and just get a ton of speck. So I'm just going to stick the corner in it. Just go a little bit. Look at that. A little bit. A ton of bit. And my filthy paintbrush just left blue and my white. Okay. But I'm going to drop it off in little dashes. And I'm going to go dash, 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 dash. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Oh, I ran out. Well, let's see what happens when I swirl it. So it's a little bit of white. I just put some, and then I can tell, like, okay, I was a little bit delicate. Who thinks they need a speck more? It's not going to change nothing. All right, but let's try it. Let's just do one for C, right? Because we can always make an adjustment. So do you want to start big and go small, or go small and then go big? What feels comfortable for you? Right? You decide. I'm going to start on the outside because I really want to jump on that big piece of white and see what happens. And I just smash it, crush it. Oh, look it. And then I make a spiral, and I may or may not hit a white dot. None of my business. I just make this. I just make my spiral, and I may or may not hit a white dot. That is interesting. Look, I have dark parts, medium parts, and light parts. But then after I did it, I wish for more. I'm like, I could have. Adam, you're making a circle. Don't make a circle. We have to go, every single time you touch it, it has to go smaller, 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 smaller until you land in the middle. Okay, I'm going to add a little speck more white. Boop. I got a speck. Because I don't, there. Okay, there, you can, okay. Mine didn't glow. So maybe I'll start this way. Adam, watch me. Adam, watch. I go, okay. And Clarzah, you need to put the white on there and go. Your blue paint is drying. So I go, okay, let me start in the middle. Teeny, 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 tiny, big. And I go around that one, then around that one, then around that one, and around that one, and around that one, and around that one, and around that one. That's a spiral. And I never picked up my paintbrush. Try it, Adam. You always have to go bigger, bigger, bigger. And then there's no spaces in between. They all touch, like I'm mowing the lawn. So I go, oh, and they may have a lot of white in them, or they may not. It's none of my business. Adam, go touch the middle and keep spinning. None of your lines are touching. It's still a bullseye. You're making a bullseye. You made 3 circles. We need a spiral. Land in the middle and go bigger, bigger, bigger. Oh, look at, I just made mine. I keep touching it. What happens if you just keep touching it? All I got was baby blue. Let me try one more time. Small, bigger, 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 bigger. Okay. And do I have dark pieces, medium pieces, light pieces? Yeah. They're all touching. Okay, now I have just a little bit of paint in my paintbrush, right? And I'm going to go and make fuzzy edges, which is basically my paintbrush running out of paint, called dry brushing. And I'm going to go bigger than my circle, and it will look like dust or fuzz on the outside, okay? So don't get more. Just what's left on your paintbrush, and try to make an ugly, furry outside. And I just go a rainbow and a smile and a rain. Oh, what? What is this ugliness? No, it's more glow. Just the color that's in your paintbrush is just right. And I went, oh, it's just all dry and see-through and misty like fog. Just what's left over in your paintbrush. Just blur out the edges. Do not add paint. We are trying to run out of paint on purpose. And no scribbling. Miss Perez, you're going dash, 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 dash. Nope. Push. It's a texture thing. You're being perfect. There's no perfect. There is action and texture and color and value. So how many color values? 3. Dark, medium, light. Do you have dark pieces of blue? Medium pieces of blue? Light pieces of blue? Nailed it. And do you have the dry, fuzzy parts? Woo! Okay. Some of you were afraid to touch your jar, but you can still see the pencil because the paint's so thin. So you could go smile, smile. And it's supposed to be that dry and see-through, like mist, nighttime mist. Okay, now we're going to put a white moon on it, but we use our finger, okay? And you're human, so you cannot make a circle. It's your parents' fault. But you can make a rainbow and then a smile and then fill it in. But do not try to make a circle in one swoop. You will ruin it. And then you'll try to make it bigger. Oops, I ruined it. And then you'll make it bigger. Oops, right? So my moon is just 4 fingers across, right? I usually start off 3 fingers big, knowing I'm going to go bigger when I try to fix it, right? So I go, oh, here's my fingerprint. I just set this on the tablecloth. The tablecloth doesn't care. And I use my finger, poke. Is this enough to make a white moon? No, I'm probably have to get more paint. But I just land in the middle and I just go, poke. Okay, that's where she's going to live. Maybe I'll even get more. I'm worried. I'll get another poke of white because I feel like it all came off putting the dot. So I got another one. But now I'm going to go above it with a rainbow and below it with a smile. Not a circle. Get that out of your head. So watch, I go rainbow and then smile. And then my brain is able to make a circle and then I can swirl it in. But if I try to make a circle, it's going to come out all wobbly like an egg or something. So I paid a rainbow and then a smile and then I put my fingers over it. Okay. Yeah, 3 fingers. Okay, 4 fingers. Nice. Look at mine. It's kind of, should I touch that more? That looks bad. What if I swirl that some more and kind of smush with just the flattest part, not my fingertip. She will scratch the paint off, but with the flattest I can be and just a flat finger. Oh, it's turning baby blue. Oh, and what if the edges are a little bit blurry? I kind of like it. It's another misty edge. I feel like I could go brighter after I made it. I feel like I could go 1 poke of white more. Poke. I just want a little brighter. Not thick. I just want to smash it in. Okay, now, okay. And I like that spiral texture. But my outside was made with what? A rainbow and a smile. Then I fill it in with swirls. And I try to stay inside my rainbow and my smile. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a circle. Yay! And it is baby blue. Because we were touching wet blue paint. Now you have to lick your finger off. No! Paper towel. All you weirdos who tried. Wipe. All clean. And then who's getting these weird textures? Look, and if you have nails, this is very hard, so I apologize. Watch what happens when I use the tip of my finger. What is happening to my, it's coming off. Because it's too pointy. It's too scratchy. Flat finger, smooth, butter. Flat. Okay, that's smoother. Who felt that texture? Because they were using the bone part of their finger? The end of the bone? No, we use the puffy, the part the police want to squish. Smush! Like flat and squishy part. Squish. Boop, boop, boop. And the bumpy, soft. Okay, then I clean my paintbrush pinch. Ta-da! And by the time we're ready to do our glow in the dark paint and the tree, that'll be dry. So don't add more later because we need it dry so we can put glow in the dark paint on. Okay, now we get to put spirals. Okay, so I want to, all my lids, get out of here lids, but I want to put them in, clean my paintbrush. This one, look at all that paint still on it. I'm going to get a paper towel. And I was already using this one, but I just need a clean spot. But I just fold it over and then pinch it really hard and squeeze the paint out. And then it turns all pointy and flat. Oh, looks like a knife. It's like a laser. Okay. And I just set it down. We'll use this for grass. But we're actually going to hold it like this for grass. Not the big square way, but the skinny way and go, knife. So if we dry it this way, all flat and pointy, then when we go like this with the, make grass like that, it'll be pointy at the top. See my grass? I went up and down like a little, and I go, okay, so put that down, she'll rest. Now find the blue paintbrush, and I'm going to put my colors in red, yellow, green, blue, purple order. So there's my red, orange, yellow that I had to mix with water. It looks disgusting. Let me stir it again. Trying to mash all my bumps in my yellow's bad. I'm trying to mash all the bumps. And stir. Who knows? The lid must have came open. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean my paper. Look at it. Look. There. Okay, now when I pinch it, it goes back to perfectly pointy. Okay. Red, orange, yellow, green, bright green. Should we use dark green? No. What's dark green for? It's the shadow color at the bottom of our grass. Because how many color values do you need for 3D? 3, dark, medium, light. So we're going to save this for grass. I'm not going to make any fireflies out of this shadow color. Okay, bye. And I don't need black, but I do need purple. And then, if I put one, I would like it to be 3D, dark, medium, light. So let's say I'm doing red. That's our first color, right? So look at my red one. Does that look red to you? It looks orange in my, oh no, that's orange. I'm looking at the camera. So that's a red one, but you see the little spiral of white in it? But look, I have dark red piece, a red and white piece, and strings of white that lived, and I did not smash it in. So it's a spiral. But what happens if I keep spinning it and spinning it and spinning it? And what am I going to get? A pink gumball. No. So I make my red circle, and then I get a speck of white, and I land in the middle, and I go spiral, spin, done. And I give it permission to have dark parts, medium parts, and light parts. And literally, I have to stop myself because you know I want to keep playing with it. But I don't, because I would like a spiral because it's a repeating pattern. Now that my blue's drying, I wish I put more white in it. I don't know. Just me. Okay, so now I'm going to get red. Hello, red. Little paintbrush, right? And they're in the jar and they're flying away. But to get it to look right, to make sense, they're flying out in a triangle. They're not in the moon, and they're not down by the grass, right? And where are they flying to? They're trying to get away to this corner. It's like, ah, like that, and they're flying away because you dropped the jar, and they're taking off. So there's always 2 of a color in my jar and 5 that fly away. Do they fly away in a straight line according to their color? No. They go boing, like we put stars. Boing, 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 boing. Right? They're just heading towards the corner. Okay, let's try it. Okay, this will be, let's just do 2 in the jar. Oh yeah, and every time we get white, we clean our paintbrush. Otherwise, our white will look like shit, all dirty, right? So I'm gonna just poke my red. Hello. It's a tiny paintbrush and she can't pick up very much. So even if you stabbed it hard, she'd only pick up that much, right? So stab your red, stab. Okay, let's put 2 in the jar. So I don't know, you choose where they live at. So, oh, and they're 1 fingerprint big. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Do you know why? We're gonna do all 7 colors and we're gonna run out of space. Okay, so you can't make them all humongous, right? And I start off a fingerprint big, but when I spin the white in them, they tend to grow. Okay, so let me see. If it's a fingerprint, let me put your fingerprint on it, and you're like, okay, that is kind of small. All right, so I go, I'm going to make a spiral, not a circle. Do you like going from small to big or big to small? You decide. But I go, okay, there, and smaller, and smaller, and smaller, and speck. And I don't have to touch it again. It's a fingerprint big. Now you do it. Oh, and these are going to be your 2 ugliest ones. How come? Because they're the first 2. So how does it work on Earth? You only learn by doing. So you have to have, okay, I guess I have to make ugly. Okay, and then another spot. Oh, that's not even a circle. I made a bean. Let me try again. Okay. That's better. Okay, now I'm going to clean my paintbrush, and I'm just going to keep 1 paper towel handy because every time I get a color, I just need 1 tiny little corner. I just give it a pinch. Pinch. And not all the color comes out, but a huge amount comes out. Right? And you don't have to like, oh, I have to clean it perfect. We're going to go in rainbow order, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So we'll never mix 2 colors that will make a dirt color. We won't. I won't let you. Okay? So now now I would like to brighten that up with some white, and if a stab of red was the background. Remember how much blue we put? And then how much white was it compared to the blue? Right? So how much white do I need? A spick. So I'm going to sneak up on it. Okay, maybe not that small. That was ridiculous. Boop, a little bit. Okay. Tiny pearl. And then this is when I get to make a spiral. And I can get another poke, but I can't get less, right? So let me try. Look at, I got dark, medium, light without doing anything. But let me try. So I land in the middle and I go around that one. Oh, it's very white. And then it turns medium and then it turns dark and then I have to be done. That's very white. I feel like I got too much white. But this is my first one. So how am I supposed to figure out how much white to get? By doing it and adjusting and just telling myself, whatever, I'm learning. And then maybe a speck more white. Okay, last time I felt like it was too much. So I'm going to adjust and get less. Peek. Peek, peek. Okay. Then I'm going to spin it in there. So I land in the middle and I can't touch anything twice. What happens if I keep spinning? Pink. Ah. So I land in the middle. I go around and around and around and around and stop. I don't want a pink gumball. What if you end up making it bigger? So, what if it has dry edges like our moon? It glows. I don't care. What if I went outside the lines a little bit? What? It's all blurry. And you're jealous of me now? And then put your finger over it. Is it a fingerprint big? Or do you think it's too small? Do you think it's too big? Could we make an adjustment? Okay, those were our first two. That was learning curve, like rough draft, right? Those are our ugly ones. Everything after this will be better. Okay, so I clean my paintbrush because I still have white on it. Okay, let's make 5 that fly away. We're doing the red very, very slow so that we can learn. So all the rest are easier, okay? Because once you get it, like the first 2 colors, you'll be like, oh, this is interesting. The 3 and 4 colors, you're like, oh, I got it. Then 5 to 7, you're like, this is boring. I hate this. You know why? Because your brain already learned it. So watch. You'll go, this is hard. This is boring. That fast. Okay, so I'm going to get red. Stop! And if I have to get more, I can get more. And do I try to avoid the stars? No. Get out of my way, stars. So I'll put one really close to the jar because I know they're just leaving. 1. And then I jump away 2. And then I go farther away 3. Oh, I'm out of paint. Look how thin. I need another poke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made it to the corner almost. Boing, 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 boing. 5 fly away. But I could only get to 3, and then I didn't have enough red, so I had to get another poke. And then I lick off my paintbrush. I was seeing who was going to do it so I could laugh. I clean my paintbrush with a pinch. Okay, and then, so we did 2, and I'm looking at them right now, and I'm like, okay, the first one, I clearly put too much white. The second one, I think I touched it too much, and I made pink. Right, so I'm just going to adjust, right? All right. So I get a tiny speck of white. Ooh, that looks like too much. Okay, I'll just do it really soft. Maybe that will work. Okay, so I spiral. Only touch it once. No touchy. And I go little bigger. Oh, doing it soft is a trick. That helped. I was smashing the colors too hard together. Now I can do another one. Oh, I'm out of white. Okay, I need another little poke of white. And spick. Okay, I got a spick. And then spin this one. Woo. Okay, that feels like it's too much white. Look. Or it wasn't enough red and my red had dried already. Could that be it? And how many times are you allowed to touch it? 1 time. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. Right? If you keep spinning, what do you get? Pink. We could have just stirred red and white together on a plate and got a pink color. Watch me. I'm going to get red. I got a poke of red. I feel like this one's too white. Let me spin red on it and see if I can change it. Oh, do I have dark, medium, and light now? Yes, because I put too much white. Nailed it. Oh, there was too much. I didn't clean my paintbrush off before I got white paint. It's a habit you have to learn because I just put red in my paint, my white paint. I'll have to say it more often. I clean my paintbrush, get white paint, and spin. Okay. Oh, that last one, that was wild. It was better. That was my best one. I have dark pieces, medium pieces, and light pieces. So how many did it take me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them before I got a good one. But I have an earth brain. How do we learn on earth? By doing and making adjustments. When the teacher shows you math, are you learning math? No. When do you learn the math? When you do it. So you're like, blah, 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 teacher, I need to do it so I can learn it. Go. And then, but remember, if you have 10 problems, how soon should you get bored? By like number 8, you'll be like, this is easy. Because I don't know. I kind of know. I sort of get it. Boring. I don't know. Weird brain. Okay, what comes after red? I'm going to put the lid on my red because I can decorate rocks with my paints like tomorrow and write cute sayings and hide them in my neighborhood. Like, love you or stay happy, something. And then people go walking their dog and then they're like, oh my God. Like, okay, now I'm going to get orange. What if there's still a little bit of red in my paintbrush? It'll make fire. Red and orange swirls. Okay, so I'm going to open my orange and I just can stab my orange. It's the tiny white I have to be careful with. So I stab my orange. Stab! Okay, how many go in the jar? Are we going to be faster this time? Yes, how come? Learning curve goes faster. Okay, so I go, I don't know, 2, put them wherever in the jar. 1, 2, whatever. And then how many fly away? Close to the jar, 1. Oh, I'm going to go down here. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I need more orange paint. 4. And up here, 5. Oh, I haven't put anything on my glow-in-the-dark drip yet. I can't forget, or that will just be staring at me the whole time. Does anyone have an ugly star you want to cover up? Oh, it's an ugly one. Put a firefly on it. Okay, now I clean my paintbrush. Okay. I'll stop saying that joke when you stop laughing. Okay, now I'm going to get a little tiny poke of white paint. So how much white? I adjust. I don't know. I got better at it. Did you see my last red? That was my best one. So, okay, I get a little tiny poke of white, right? And I spin it in my orange. Spin! Oh, it is better. I got pieces of orange and strings of white. Should I go and, oh, look what I just did. It's an escaped something. Oh, great. So I go, okay, so I have dark orange pieces, orange and white mixed together, and pieces of white. Should I touch it more and mix them together? No. So I get a tiny speck of white and spin. Nice. Then I get another little tick. I'm holding my white because my table is way over here behind me. It's too irritating. So I'm going to hold my white so I can just go poke, go. And then I spin and I get a tiny poke of white and spin in. Okay, now I'm getting the right amount of white. Okay, that one. Look, I had just a little piece of white in the center. Nice. And I didn't go back and touch it more. You're jealous of mine. I know you are. Okay, so I go poke. And then I land in the middle, spin. Okay. That one's not my favorite. My spiral is all funky. Let me go slower. I think being spastic's not helping. I'm trying to be funny, and it's just making not good spirals. Okay, spin. Okay. And then another one. Spin. Ooh, that one's brighter. And then spin. Okay. Who feels better about those? And you're not pushing as hard with your paintbrush. So your paintbrush isn't opening humongous. It's kind of, you're floating on the tip. And you're doing it so soft, you can barely feel it. And then check for a fingerprint big. Might be bigger than a fingerprint once you spin it in, right? And then, do I have big, dark, medium, light, 3D in there? Or did I just spin it together and make a color? I'm rooting for 3 versions of a color. Okay, highlight. Okay, clean my paintbrush. Okay, what comes after orange? I have to use my disgusting yellow. Yay! No, I'm not excited. Let me stir one more time. Who else got this disgusting lumpy yellow they have to deal with? How did they, the lid had to have opened. I'm smashing my lumps right now. I hope you don't have this problem. I hope yours is gorgeous. I'm smashing my lumps like it's gravy. And I put it in hot instead of putting it in cold. Okay, now I'm going to clean it off. Mostly also when I clean it off, I pinch my paintbrush and my paintbrush goes back to pointy. Okay, there. Oh, there's a little bit of red still in it and orange. That's going to make fire. And even if the yellow goes on thin and transparent, which means you can see through it, white is opaque. You can't see through it, so white will help. Okay, so I stab the white, the yellow, and I just put how many in the jar? 2. Anywhere you want. Woo! Oh, mine's all lumpy and disgusting. These fireflies have a disease. 2 in the jar. And then how many fly away? 5. Okay, 1 near the jar. 1, 2. I'm totally relying on white right now to fix these disgusting yellow fireflies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I clean my paintbrush off. And the white's gonna help them shimmer shine. So if the white lives, it looks like a sparkle, like a little, right? So I get my white. Look how much white I just got by accident. What the heck? I'm trying to do a poke. I don't know. My arm doesn't, I went like that. Let me try again. Pinch so I can sharpen it. Okay, so how much white? Just a little poke. Poke. And I'm going to spin it in my yellows. How many color values am I rooting for? 3, dark, medium, light. Spin. Okay, the white does help. Spin. I'm going to use extra white, I think, because yellow's so see-through. Spin. What? Oh, she helps a lot. Look, I want to show you something. What? This is a neat effect. Because my yellow's so thin, because I had to add water, the black shows through. Look. The black of the canvas shows through. And it looks like a shadow, like I planned it. I can see the spiral cut from the tip of my paintbrush. That worked out. Right, and I trust the white to be not see-through, so she helps a lot. And whenever your paper towel is filthy and you don't like it anymore, get rid of it. Another one. Because eventually I pick up my paper towel and it slimes me. And I'm like, okay, I need a paper towel. Okay, red, orange, yellow, green. Okay, who needs to jump around with their colors a little more? Are they going in a straight line? No, jump around. Jump around. Woo, woo, right? So I go, okay, if there's 2 in the jar, don't let them be best friends holding hands. Spread them out a little. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got to cover up my ugly, right? Anything ugly, I got to remember I can cover it up. And then 5 escape towards the corner. Look how mine is. Isn't mine coming out of the jar like a big V? Right? Everybody pause and look up. right? So I can go near the grass, but not touching the grass. I can go near the moon, but not touching the moon. And I can touch the sides of the paintings if I want, because they're taking off. They're escaping. So I get my green. Okay, I poke my green. Stop. How come? Because I only have to be careful with the white. So how many in the jar? 2. 1, 2. And then, okay, I need to spread them out more. Mine are kind of clustered together. Oh, I know. I'll cover up this oopsie one that I put. 1, near the moon, 2, near the corner, 3, near the bottom, 4. Where should I put number 5? There. I don't know. But I tried to not make them best friends. They spread it out. My colors are not in love. All right. But how much you want to bet when we're done? All your colors are 2 fingers apart. You're going to keep adjusting your colors, and then they're all going to be evenly spaced apart when we're done. I don't know why, you weirdo humans, but you're going to space them apart, all perfect. You're going to be like, what? I don't know. Okay, look at my whites. I'm cleaning my paintbrush every time and still getting little duties in there. I'm trying not to. So I clean my paintbrush before I get white. And then I spin it in the green. Woo! One time. Oh, that was too much white. Adjust. Never get mad. Just do better. Have another attempt. Spin. Okay, that one's way better. So it's less white. I got like a scoop on the end, and then I realized, nope, that is not the right amount. Or I could do it softer. Remember, that was also a trick. I have to constantly be adjusting. This is earth, and I can only learn by doing, so I'm constantly going, oh, okay. I'm not mad. I'm just like, oh, adjust. If I wanted it easier, I could have picked a better planet where you don't have to learn by doing, where everybody's just born with instinct like bees, and we just come out and we already know how to be human and everything. But that's not how it is here at all. What if you wanted to learn how to be better with your anger? What are you going to need a lot of? A lot of people making you mad. So you can practice. So then you thank your siblings, thank you for letting me practice my anger. Because you are very good at it. Okay, I'm gonna get my, what comes after? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Blue. And how many in the jar? How many fly away? Okay, we've just done 4 colors. So who thinks this is easy and boring already? What'd I tell you? At first you're like, oh, I don't know, this is hard, I don't know, oh my God. And then now you're like, okay, hurry up, lady, I already know how to do this, I'm bored. Look what a good human brain you have. You learn so fast, you hit bored before you're even done. You're like, okay, boring. And just 2 seconds ago, you were like, I don't know if I can do this. Your brain lies. Oh, look what I did in my jar. I made a circle. Why the heck? Now my blue and purple ones have to be in the middle. I did not do good planning. Okay, whatever. 1, 2, and then 5 fly away. 1. Look how black it looks without white's help. Purple and blue are going to need white, or they're just going to dry black on the black canvas, you know? Because there isn't any white canvas to shine behind them. So I got, how many fly away? 5. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just looking for holes. 3, 4, 5. So looking for holes is actually how your brain picks that pattern of evenly spaced apart. And then I clean my paintbrush pitch. I probably could do this without talking now, and you guys could finish all by yourself. Do you know what mastery is? You can do it no helpsies. Should I just be quiet? Teachers have a very hard time being quiet. They love to hear themselves talk. I will try, but I will have to cover my mouth because I will not stop talking. Okay, I will try to put the white on by myself. I did it. And I didn't say anything. I had to learn this the other day that I can't stop talking unless I cover my mouth. So you think I was the kid in class who couldn't stop talking every time there was silence? So what do? Become the teacher. And I'm the one always trying to crack a joke. Become a teacher. You have a captured audience your whole life. But look at mine. Okay, I wanted to complain so loud, but I couldn't let myself. That one is completely ugly and lumpy. And the white only emptied, and I did not scream out loud and complain, but I'm going to fix it right now. Okay, adjust. Okay. Okay, purple's all that's left. Want to do it no helpsies? Purple ones? All by yourself? Put the purple and put the white to prove to yourself you know how? Okay, then. I'll be quiet. But purple without white will dry black. So make sure you give her help. A little bit of help. And we're also, I can't stop talking. And we're looking for the holes. Where would a little bit of another one look good? Okay. I have to cover my mouth. Wait. Done. Who beat me? You beat me? Good for you, Miss Tor. All right. Jennifer, did you beat me? I never look at the camera because I have a big TV where I put, the gallery, and the camera's like in the middle. But I'm always looking at your drawing, so I'm always looking around the camera so I can see your names. Like there's Jeremy, right, and there's Annan, there's Mr. Lopez, Miss Coin, there's Ruby. Ruby, I can't see your painting. You're painting. Your camera's pointing at the ceiling. Okay, I did it, and you're jealous because I beat you. But while we're painting our tree and our grass, these fireflies are going to dry. They're going to be busy drying. But you know what I'm thinking right now? I actually have some that are kind of thick and lumpy. Those won't dry fast. I think I'm going to go back and flatten some of them. Just for what I just said. I need these dry in just a few minutes. I don't think I want this lumpy blue one. I'm going to tell her to calm down and flatten. There. So the air can eat up the color better. Okay, there. I just touched a few to because your paintbrush is also a sponge. And she can pick up paint just like she can smush down paint. So there. I stared at them from the side and I was like, whoa, that's a big lump. That's never going to dry. What do you think? Kudra, that's so pretty. I know I'm ruining your name, but I haven't heard your name yet. Miss Tour, is that how you say your last name? Unmute yourself and tell me how to say your name. Say your name for me. I missed it. Say it one more time louder. Kurao? Kura. And you roll your tongue in the middle. Kura. Like that? Yeah?
Yeah, Kura.
Okay, Kura. Oh. Because Hooked on Phonics does not work on that name, right? So I have to be like, what? You have to let me hear it with my ears. Sean, how's yours? Sean, you got some good spirals? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. And now this is when I'm pausing because I'm watching everyone paint, and some people are, okay, there's two kinds of people in every room, right? Every classroom. They finish really fast, but then they get bored and they start talking and messing around and getting in trouble. And that's terrible. But then there are the people who are so tiny and detail oriented that they take so long, they never have enough time to finish anything, and they panic and get full of anxiety, and that is also terrible. So whichever one you are, just be glad you're not the other one. You're like, well, that's what kind of brain I got. I don't know. Well, because you're one or the other. There's no middle people. And watching you decorate. Mrs. Santoya, I think you're painting over your moon. Are you? We're about to put glow-in-the-dark paint on that, and you're getting it wet with blue paint, so you're going to smear blue paint on it. We wanted this all dry. See, it's all dry now, so we're going to put glow-in-the-dark paint on it. So when we put the tree on it, the tree will show at night. Okay? You guys wanted to make a tree? And you're like, no, I don't want to make no tree because it's going to come out ugly. Well, no one showed you how the pattern of tree is. That's why. Okay, so, but before, I want to put glow-in-the-dark paint on this, but remember I said mine's going to drip? Well, we're going to put it on with our finger and put it on as thick as we can, and then nice and thick on the moon. But I have a feeling it's going to start dripping. I don't know. I'll just have to live with mine. Right, so I get my, and I think it dried a little bit sitting there. Maybe the air stole some of the water out. I don't know. But I just used my dirty little finger. I don't care. And I just, and what if I put it thick in some parts and thin in some parts? It'll be brighter in areas because it has more powder, glow-in-the-dark powder, and the thin areas will be darker. So I just go, all right, scoop it and spin. Oh, and it just looks like glue. See how I'm not worried about it dripping because I'm smashing it down flat, but it literally looks like glue going on. But am I still putting it in a spiral pattern? Yeah, because you're going to see the spiral at night. But I don't want to hit any of my fireflies because it will smear them. They're still wet. So I keep putting more on. I put some more. And I don't care that I have thick spots. How come? It'll be brighter. Right there. It's a big goober, and I swirl it. I swoosh it. And I have thick parts and thin parts. The thick parts are brighter than the thin parts. Ooh. What about the dry outside? As long as I don't hurt a firefly, I'm okay. Woo. We're going to have glow-in-the-dark paint left when we're done, you know. That you can paint on some rocks and put them in your yard. Oh, I know. This is how fun, because remember I said when I was starting that I got a paint on my sweater. My Aunt Carol helped me. But anyway, I from this room to the garage is just around the corner. So at night, I turn off all the lights and lock the doors, and there are little glow-in-the-dark dots on the floor. How did glow-in-the-dark paint? I don't know. But my husband's like, what is that? He thought it was a bug, a glow-in-the-dark bug. I go, it's glow-in-the-dark paint. done. Okay, now I'm going to go. Okay, so I got my cool out. But what about my moon? Shouldn't it be thicker? Should she be thicker? All right. I'm going to put more. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. I'm going to put more on it and thicker. I'm going to lay mine flat because remember mine's thin. And keep putting it on thicker and thicker on my moon. And the flat part of my finger, right? Not the fingertip, not the bone. She'll scratch it back off. I'm just going to keep putting thicker layer and thicker because I want my moon to glow. And that means I have to do it really, really soft. And Miss Perez, we're letting it skip and dash and skip and dash and skip and dash and be 3D, even the glow-in-the-dark paint. So there's thick pieces and thin pieces, even with my glow-in-the-dark paint. Right now you have a rainbow. You're being all perfect about it. Skip and dash and skip and dash. You're probably good at math and very organized, aren't you? It's showing up in your painting. And then I'm going to let that rest right now. And we're going to paint our jar while that's resting so that the air can steal more of the water out of our glow-in-the-dark paint. Who feels like that's going to come out good? Good job. Oh, look, I got some more drips of glow-in-the-dark paint, but that's in my grass, so I don't care. Who liked putting that on with our fingers? That's fun, right? It's texture, right? The texture and the feeling and the idea of it. That this is a tool, the oldest tool we had since we were babies, our first tool. Okay, now we get to do the jar. So let me show you the jar. Okay, so in order to get straight lines, because can I go scribble, 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 scribble with paint? No, I will have a furry jar. So, in order to make these lines smooth, I have to get... Where'd my tiny paintbrush go? Hold on. Oh, there she is. She's behind me. So, I just get my blue paint, stab, and I push my paint and do not pick up my paintbrush. Push, turn the corner around. And when I run out, I get more blue and then land right where I left off and do not pick up my paintbrush and push until it turns dry and then get more paint and then push. Do not do these things. I'll show you that. And then while the blue is still wet, we scratch this white onto the blue. And it turns, some parts will be brighter than some parts will be darker. 3D will just happen, almost like the moonlight just glinted off of a piece of glass. So if you rub it in or touch it twice, you make baby blue. We are not interested in baby blue. We're interested in blue pieces with strings of white in it. Okay, so those are my words. Now watch with your eyes. Okay, and mine's going to be weirder because I have silver Sharpie. You only have pencil, right? So mine's going to show up different. Okay, so everybody watch me without looking away. Don't look away. I just want to show you. I have to get a scoop of blue, which is awkward. And it's just some, and I'm going to land and push. Turn the corner. Okay, ran out. And then push and turn the corner. And I'm just sliming the pencil and then push. Okay, and then everybody pause. Don't look away. This is only one part, but I want to show you. Now I poke my white. Poke. And I'm going to put a string of white in it. Don't look away. But you can still see my Sharpie. It's not white, okay? Because I didn't cover it all up. But anyway, so now I'm just going to, as soft as I can, just slide some white through my blue, and sometimes it's baby blue, and sometimes it's blue, and sometimes it's white, and I give it permission to be all three. And then I stop, and I don't do any more. So the moon must have shined on that, but not on that, because I have less. It's just an accident, and it's none of your business. So first you get it wet with blue, and let me try it again. I'll go down the sides. So I get the blue, I scoop the blue, and I'm going to push my paintbrush like a bulldozer. Oh, ran out. Need more. Should I scribble? No, that's for crayons and pens and markers and colored pencils where one little piece of color comes out at a time. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, and then now I'm going to clean my paintbrush, get some white, and then I just slide the white right on top. I drive on the same road. Turn the corner with the white. I turn the light on. Just by letting a little string of white slide on top of my blue, I make different variations of blue all by accident, like it's none of my business. And look, I'll show you up close. So there's still, oops, I dropped my paintbrush. There's still pieces of dark blue, strings of white, baby blue happen, dark blue happen, and when they dry, you get 3D without even trying. Look at that dark blue piece on the bottom, and I'm going to let it just sit there because it must be a shadow. What if I scribbled it in there? What am I going to get? A furry. Now put the blue right on top. If you put white first, you got to put blue on top because is it blue or is it white? It's both. And they sit on top of each other and you string them together and we hope both show. Kura! You got to put the blue on it now. Put the blue on it. Now get blue, stab the blue, and go Adam, let me see. Let me see yours. I can't see your painting. All I see is your face. Adam, let me see yours. Turn it so I can see. I can't make suggestions unless I can see. Okay, definitely looks like you're having a space war. And those are planets, and those are galaxies and stuff. I have a feeling that's exactly the way you run through your life. Right? Big, bold, right? Lots of energy. It reflects you. But it definitely looks like a space war. Maybe yours is a story of a giant god out in space and he's capturing all the planets and putting all the planets and stars in a jar. And then no, what was in the adventures? No, what are their names? And there's that big god with the ring. And he had all the rings of power. And then Thomos. No. Thanos. So it's Thanos, and he's instead of destroying everything, he's gonna capture all the planets and put them in a jar. You can tell how long it's been since I've seen that movie. I can't remember nobody's name. Yeah, but only when they come out, and then I'm just like, bleh. It's not like I have posters in my room or something. Except I was younger when Matrix came out, The Matrix, and I had posters of The Matrix in my room. Dumb. I know. You know The Matrix? That was the superhero movie of when I was younger. I liked it. That we all live in a computer simulation. We all live in a giant video game. What? It hurt my brain. And that was when the internet was brand new. So it very, very much hurt my brain. I'm watching you all do the jar. And are you getting straight? There it is. Look at Miss Kura. That's nice. Shimmer shine. Okay, then what does my jar have that yours doesn't have? Hey, a little few lines here. They look like little dashes, but they're blue with little strings of white on them. And it's just the roundness, the top of the jar. And last time I did this, they weren't all touching. I don't know why, but now it looks like fur. It's supposed to just be like scratches of blue. I don't know. I think I just kept touching it. But I get blue and just touch the top of your jar like this. And everybody pause and look up, even if you're busy. So I'm going to get the blue, and you'll barely be able to see it, but I go dash, dash, scratch, 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 down, down, down. Oh, I just got green in it. All right, then. I don't care. A jar would reflect that, right? If I go, okay, scratch, 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 and then I get to put strings of white in it and go whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I just give it permission to be these zings, these bright shines. And they just kind of like flick down, and it's like the top of a jar. And then it's not like it's a texture idea. It's not like a thing. Like it's not an object. It's a little bit of light going, whoop, whoop. You want to see it again? So I touched the top of the jar and went down, 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 and then put it in blue first, and then I put it in white. But they're pointing kind of down a little bit. Poke, 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 poke. So it can look like it's rolling off the top of the jar. And it's just a reflection idea. Like, oh, look at, I got dark, medium, light. Nailed it. Moving on. It's an idea, not an actual object. I think we leave at 3:30 today. Were you asking? There's 38 chats. Are you guys all chatting and I don't get to see it? That's okay, because I would answer and it'd be disruptive. So you guys ready to see how you make trees? So to make a tree, we have to stand up our painting like this. So the jar and the moon is on the bottom. Adam, you ready to make a tree? Kate? Who else? Jennifer, you ready to make a tree? I see you still decorating. Samuel? He's gone. Can't see him. Ruby, you ready to make a tree? Okay, so everybody pause and look up, even if you're busy, because I'm going to explain tree. Okay, so when you were little, you made this, and you called it a tree. And then you put the fluffy cloud on the top and called it, that is not a tree. And when we see that pattern, that's actually Groot with his arms in the air, right? That's not, no, because that is not the pattern of trees. Trees would never let their branches touch each other at the base. That would make a very weak spot on the wood. So instead, they grow in a spiral like this. So if I make a string, woo, I go like this. If I want to, and they all go, do you guys know the word parallel? Where the line runs next to, not out. It doesn't run away. It goes up to and next to. So I go, okay, now watch Adam. Adam, don't look away. Watch. Okay, so I go to the right and I go make a branch. Oops. And then I go a little higher to the left. And then I go a little higher to the right. And then I go a little higher to the left. That is the pattern of trees. Watch this. Now I'll give them twigs. So I go to, and they go up. They go parallel. So I go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left. And I always go higher. I never let them touch at the base because that'll make a V, right? You want to see a tree? I'll show you. Watch this. Where's my, oops. Did I drop my tiny paintbrush? My workspace is all messy now. So now I'll get my black paint and I'll show you. Okay, so and when I make a tree with a paintbrush, it's not a pencil. Who noticed how hard you push with a paintbrush is how tiny the line is? Do you guys notice that? When you push hard, it's humongous. When you push really soft, it's super tiny. Who started to do your spirals on your fireflies really soft? And it worked way better, right? So, but if I hold my paintbrush like a pencil, my paintbrush will go like this, open, the same size. But trees don't do that. Trees go like this. If I hold my paintbrush upside down, it will smash and be humongous. And then I hold my paintbrush upside down and pull, and it will naturally get smaller, 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 all by itself. Because just like my arm is the thickest all the way to fingernail, right? So I have to hold my paintbrush upside down. Okay, now watch. I go to the right, to the left, to the right, upside down paintbrush. Then I go my twigs to the right. How soft am I being right now? Adam, I cannot feel this. I am being so soft, I can only watch it happen. I can't feel this. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Maybe I could put another branch right here. To the right, to the left. Tree. It is a pattern. And when your brain sees the pattern, and of course the trunk would be like that. When your brain sees the pattern, you're like, why didn't anybody show me that? I've been making a Groot. It's a V because they're touching. Those are arms, right? So like, oh, so you want to do one together? So your first one has to be your ugly one. So too bad for you, right? So we're going to so I get my blick. Can you find your blick? And I'm going to go, what? I'm going to go right on top of my moon. Oh, and what are these? What are these? Don't be scared of the leaves. It is a little tiny touch. If you just go like this and just touch, it goes, I'm a leaf. Oh, how do leaves go? To the right, to the left, to the right, oh no, they point up. I'm doing it wrong. I have to look at it. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Because leaves grow in a spiral too. And it's just a tiny little dash, like a dash in a phone number. Right? Leaves. But they don't make a V. They go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Like that. Okay. I say that because some of you are going to go too fast and start making leaves before I'm ready. So I showed you that real quick. But we'll do it together. So I get the black. Because you know who you are who always go too fast. Okay, so I get my black. And look, what am I going to do? I'm going to pull it up, upside down paintbrush, so they get really, really, not a pencil. I'm pulling my elbows on an elevator. Right? I do not, why, how come I can't go like that? My paintbrush will go, that'd be huge. So you can't go like that. You have to go, want to try one? Right? Just for our brain to prove that it's true. Okay. So I go, all right. How about just one near the top of the painting, right? But the tree's coming from off the page down here, right? So I stab my black. Why? I have far to go. Stab. It's a lot. I don't care. And I hold my paintbrush upside down and I land off the page, kind of on the easel, and I go smash. My paintbrush totally opens, and then I pull and I go higher and higher and higher, and I start doing it softer and softer and softer, and I can't even feel it. What if I have wiggles in it? It's a tree. Trees have wiggles in it. I just made a branch. So I held my paintbrush upside down. Paintbrush is not a pencil. You cannot hold it like a pencil because it will be the same thickness the whole time and it will not disappear. So you have to be upside down paintbrush. Pull. Did it get pointy at the end? Wait. Your Kajar, your tree is off the page down here. Look. It's off the page and jumping on. You started yours in the middle of the blue. Can you attach it off the page with the trees over here somewhere? Right? So we touch the very, very bottom. The very bottom. And then go up. And then who got it pointy at the top? Upside down paintbrush. Pull. You're pulling on the paint. And then it gets tiny because you do it really, really soft. You want to try some branches? Okay, do I ever let two branches touch? No. I have to go a little bit higher and then go to the other side. So I stab my paint because I have far to go. But how soft can I be? Really soft. Okay, upside down paintbrush. Watch me do it first. Upside down paintbrush. So I'm going to go, okay, really low, and I go to the right. And then I go a little bit higher, and then to the left, and I'm parallel. And then I go to the right. Oh, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And you can land right where you tell it to because you can handwrite. Upside down paintbrush, and I put one to the right, one to the left, one to the right, one to the left, and I climb it. Upside down paintbrush, and I just do it softer and softer as I pull, and it just disappears. And remember, it's not a pencil. All of a sudden, you'll try to switch and go to pencil, and your paintbrush will just open and be humongous, right? Upside down paintbrush and pull. I'm not a pencil. I'm not a pencil. I pull my paint. Okay, now let's do another one. Right through. Now I'm not scared of touching my mud. I'm scared. I'm gonna stab my black stab. Upside, and I get a lot because I have far to go. I touch the very bottom of my painting, smash, and my paintbrush opens humongous, and I don't even care. And then I pull and pull, upside down paintbrush, pulling. I hit my moon. I don't care. I'm gonna keep going. I keep going, and then it's even softer. And I run out. Oh, that was so high up because I didn't run out of paint, and I don't care. That's how my tree is. So, whatever. And then branches. So I stab my black. Upside down paintbrush. Okay, so I go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Pulling parallel strings. Look how I'm holding my paintbrush. This stops me from being pencil. Look, Miss Santoya. I'm holding my paintbrush from the tip so I can only pull. So I could be as teensy as I could be. And is this your teeniest, tiniest paintbrush you have? You can go tinier. Yes! Watch this. Now I go, these are twigs. So I go to the right, go parallel, and then I jump up higher on the stick and go to the left, and then to the right, and then to the left. Yay! Who thinks that was just a pattern? It wasn't hard. It was, as soon as you understand the pattern, you're like, oh, of course, because trees grow in a spiral. So they go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And even when you look at branches, the leaf will be coming out the top, coming out the side, coming out the bottom, coming out the side, like that. And they grow even like that on a branch. Okay, leaves. Do leaves go on the branch or just the twigs? Twigs. So, and it's just a touch like a dash in a phone number, but only on the twigs. And I go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the, oh, look at how hard I smashed. I wasn't doing it very soft. Okay, that's an apple. I don't know. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, 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 to the right. Boink, 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 boink. And I let them stick out a little, like a 45-degree angle. Boink, 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 boink. Bee, bee, bee. Oh, more paint. I think I just totally missed my branch right here. I need to add a twig because I totally missed. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the right. And we don't want too many. I don't want it all like a Halloween painting. I just want a little decoration. Just on my twigs. There. Sean, are you using your tiniest paintbrush for your twigs? You're not making twigs, are you? What are you making? Glow-in-the-dark paint? Are you using your glow-in-the-dark paint?
Yes.
Oh, so you're way ahead of us. Are you done with your grass already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You just went ahead. We were going too slow. Remember how I said there was 2 kinds of people in every room? Going too slow, going too fast. Same. Okay, now we need to put grass. So I don't need my tiny paintbrush in. I need to clean my tiny paintbrush. So it's got black on it, but this is the paintbrush I put the glow-in-the-dark paint in. So I can't let any of this black, so I'm going to pinch it and clean it really good. But you know what else I'm going to do? Everybody pause and look up. I have some white left. Everybody pause and look up. I'm going to stab my white. Look, Aiden. I'm cleaning my black paintbrush. I stab the white. What? And then as I squeeze this white paint out, the black that's still stuck in my paintbrush will come out because it needs to be clean to go get my glow-in-the-dark paint. Let me see. Oh, that's way too much black. So let me stab the white one more time. Stab. But don't stir it in the white. I stab it. So I pick up a bunch of white. And then I pinch it and go, oh, that's better. Let me check it. I'm going to check it on a dry piece. Oh, there's still black in it. Let me clean it one more time. Stab the white. I'm using white like water. Let me pinch it. And then check it on a dry piece. Way better. Because when I go to stick this dirty paintbrush in my glow-in-the-dark paint, I'll be like, ah! But right now we're not going to use this little paintbrush. We're going to use back to our big paintbrush for grass. Oh, remember how we sharpened her and let her dry all hard like that? You just have to bounce on your hand and she'll wake up. But she stayed all pointy. Right? Oh, she dried all pointy. But I'm going to hold it. I'm going to put the paint on like this. Using the square, right? But then when I go to flick it, I hold it straight up and down like a little knife. And I go, I'm going to put a glob of dark green. That's what the lines are for. Dark green below. Oh, then I put medium green. Right? Then I stab the yellow and I'm going to flick like this and I pull the dark green through the light green and I make streaks. Like a knife. And the yellow on my paintbrush are going to make highlights. But should I scrub it together and make a color of green? No, I need dark green, medium green, and yellow. Okay, so find your dark green. We finally get to use dark green. Boom! And turn your painting back to like this, right? So the grass is on the bottom. Let's just go ahead and use up all this green and smear it all over the bottom of underneath that pencil line. What? I'm gonna scoop it like disgusting and smear it as thick as I can. I mean, thick underneath the pencil line. Oh my God, it's dripping and I'm going to use up all this green. I'm not going to leave any green, dark green in my cup. Look at how thick I put it. Look, everybody. Mine is so thick, it's dripping. And I don't even care. So who's conservative around here, Miss Perez? So you're going to get your paint and put it on like frosting. How come? Because it's going to dry and it won't move. So it has to be super thick so we can flick it. Has to be so lumpy that it stays dark. See? So it's super, super thick. And you think I'm exaggerating. You could use all of that dark green and it wouldn't be enough. Miss Perez, you should be done already. Scoop smash. Scoop smash. You're painting. We're not painting. We are throwing paint on there so we can decorate. Throw the paint on there. Glob. There's still green in your cup? That is not enough green. Scoop it. Throw it on there. Oh, wherever it's thick, it's going to be nice and dark. You're like thinking, this lady's crazy. But you have to trust me. You trust me so far. Whoa! It's like peanut butter. Okay, now you have to lick your paintbrush off. Okay, clean it with paper towel. I need a new paper towel. That one's disgusting. Let's start over with a new one. Pinch. Because what color do I get now? And don't make the grass until I tell you to, because I have tricks. Okay, now I'm going to get the bright green. Look how much I have. I'm going to use all of it, and I don't even care. What if this green touches my dark green? So, it's all going to touch anyway. But I'm going to put green from the dark green to the next pencil line. What if I get grass on my jar? Yeah, your jar's not floating like it's being abducted by aliens. Or Thanos is catching space planets. So I get a scoop. And I just go, all right, blah, blah. Scoop, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just putting paint on it. I don't care. Because I'm going to decorate. This is not decorating. This is putting paint on so I can play. I don't care. Oh my God, mine's dripping. Don't care. Because why does it have to be so thick? As soon as you try to make one piece of grass, you're going to realize what I meant because you didn't do it. Super thick. And then I clean my paintbrush. Pinch. Ooh, that's what medium looks like. It's the dark green and green mixed together. Look at, there's green by yourself and there's medium. So pretty. So how many color values do we need for 3D? Dark, medium, light. Well, then who's light? Yellow. So how am I going to make grass pointy? I'm going to hold my paintbrush up like this, the knife way. And I'm going to flick up. Can I pull back down? No. What happens, Adam, what happens if I pull down? If I pull down, my grass goes humongous box. So I can only go up, 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 so they end pointy. Let me show you. So I'm going to hold my yellow, because I need, I'm going to mix it one more time with this big paintbrush. Okay, hold up. Okay, so I stab my yellow. Yellow! I don't care. But I hold it up and down the knife way. Okay, everybody stop what you're doing and watch what I'm doing. So I need to stop what you're doing and watch what I'm doing. So I'm going to touch with my yellow. I'm going to grab the dark green, and it's going to pass through the medium green and then come to a point. What? Here I go. Flick. Oh! I grab the dark green. Flick. What? Flick. Pull. Should I go back over that one more time? No. I will lose all my cool stripe colors. Yank. Up. Up. Oh! That one has dark green, medium green, and yellow in it. What if I touched it one more time? What color would it be? Nothing. So I stab my yellow, and I touch the bottom where dark green is, and I go flick, flick. Wait, are they all the same height? Did somebody trim these with scissors? No. Long, short, medium, long, long. Ooh. Okay, I didn't mean to make that. Who's being hyper now? Okay, oh! What's missing? I kept going and I had no yellow. Stop it. I'm not focused. Oh, look at that drip of green right there. I'm going to get it. Oh, look at them. I have dark pieces, medium pieces, and light pieces. Let me get more yellow. I just go and flick the yellow through the other two, and they're all touching because they're not skin. Wait, turn your paintbrush, Miss Perez. The skinny straight way, like a knife, like this. Not like this. That makes a square, so it's like this. So you're only using the tip of it and go like that. So that when you end, it's like a knife and you're cutting through the greens. So you can't go like this. That'll make a fence post, right? So I just go flick, flick, and I'm holding it like this. Right, let me get some paint out of there. So oh, I know what happened. That happened when now it's a knife. up and down. When I smashed my paintbrush into the yellow, I made my paintbrush humongous. That's why mine are kind of crazy. Oh, I'm out of yellow. So how many color values are we getting in our grass? Dark, medium, yellow. Whoosh. I touch the dark green and drag her up. Flick, flick. Oh, and I got grass on my jar. Duh. How else is she going to be connected to the ground? And look at, I'm going back the places where I didn't get any yellow because I ran out and kept going like a dork. Okay, oh, there. Oh, I put some shimmer shine. How many color values in my grass? And how many times are we allowed to touch a piece of grass? One time, right? So don't turn your paintbrush like this, Miss Perez. You keep going like this. Nope, it's like this. You need to turn your painting so it's facing you and just go, so I don't have to look at it, right? And just go like this, up, like a knife. Like I go straight up, wait, wait, wait. Is because your green's all dried already. You didn't put it on very thick, so touch your green. Is she wet? So she's not, the dark green's not moving, huh? They're not moving, right? So you're like, oh, I didn't put enough. She was literally talking globs of paint, so we can flick it. Just put more on. Who cares? Put lumps and lumps of paint. Just throw the paint on and then play with it. And see if you don't like it better. You would be really good at like toll painting where they make those perfect little flowers. Because you have the delicate touch. But I teach kindergartners and they have to be able to make 3D, right? And we go flick, flick. So who's ready to put their glow-in-the-dark paint on? And are we going to use our big paintbrush? No, she's filthy with green. But I can put it on with my little paintbrush. But whose paint glow-in-the-dark? Where'd mine go? Oh, whose glow-in-the-dark paint is thin? Because we added water, right? So we might have to go like this and pick up your painting like this, right? So use 2 hands and pick up the easel with one hand and throw it on the floor and put your painting on the table. Like that. How come? Because my paint's so thin it's going to drip. And I would like thick little, oh wait, who wants to take pictures? If you want to take a group picture of our painting so far? Because as soon as we put glow-in-the-dark paint on, we can't stand it back up. Because what will happen to our glow-in-the-dark paint? It'll slide down our painting. So who wants to make a group picture right now just like this? You want to show us your painting?
Definitely. Looks good, everyone.
There's 13 people here. Turn on your cameras. Let us see how it turned out. Remember, you could go like this and not show your face. You don't have to show your face. You can cover, right? Just show. Oh, look at, oh, what? Jeremy made his Saturn. What? Thanos is visiting his planet too. His planet has wings.
All right, everyone. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. We're all going to show our painting. Ready? If you don't have yours, you could just do a funny face. Give us a smile. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right.
And you know, you guys, I have a space painting, so I think those 2 boys would have loved the space painting. We get to make different colors, swirl our colors. It's so fun. Okay, now we can lay it down flat and put our glow-in-the-dark paint on there, right? Let me turn my camera so you can see, right? So, okay, so where's my glow-in-the-dark paint? I'm just going to put it on here. Where's my tiny paintbrush? Okay, and as thick, wait, Kujar, where's your teeny tiny paintbrush? We're going to put our glow-in-the-dark paint on it, but we're going to do it flat on the table. How come? Because it's going to drip. So I stab it, get a huge scoop, and swirl it on. Oh, I forgot. Let's do it in red, yellow, green, blue, purple order. The red ones are dry. The orange ones are dry. Yellow ones are dry. When do they start not being dry? Blue and purple are still shiny. So if we do them in in rainbow order, they'll be dry. Does that make sense? But because that way my paintbrush gets filthy with purple and blue at the end. So I go, okay, let me find all the red ones. Spin. Red, red. I just put a glob of red. Glob. I don't even care how thick it is. Spin. It's going to be very glow-in-the-darky. And then orange ones are ready. Spin. Orange, orange, orange. Orange are dry. Red are dry. Yellow are dry. I think green are dry. But blue and purple you have to do last. Because they're still lumpy and wet and disgusting. And they're going to make it... Oh! I just touched a blue one by accident. I have to clean my paintbrush out because I picked up blue. And how much glow-in-the-dark paint do I want on my glow-in-the-dark things? As thick as I can stand it. The thicker it is, the more powder it is. And is it going to glow? Is it going to be this glue color? No. It's going to dry clear like Elmer's glue. And just leave the powder behind, but the powder leaves a texture too, but it looks kind of not shiny, kind of flat. Oh my God, mine are so thick. I wish I could hold it up and show it to you, but you know what would happen? Mine would slide down and drip. Wait, what if I can show you really... Oh, wait, I found another one. Glob. How come they keep showing up? I thought I did all of them. Oh, there's another one not done. What? Okay. Okay, I'll show you. Everybody pause and look up. I'll show you what it's that. And I'll just go, and there they are, and they all look like milk. And then I lay it back down. Because I'm worried it's going to drip. So there it is. And then put it back down. Oh, I see 2 more I missed. Awesome. Where's my paintbrush? Fell down. I'm trying to put it on as thick as I can stand it. Because if you still have glow-in-the-dark left tomorrow, because you can't really see how good this glows until, it, the lights go, nighttime. And then by then you'll go, I want a second coat on mine. And we're using our teeniest, tiniest paintbrush. How come? Because we cleaned it. And there's no green in it. So I put it on super thick. And I already put it on my moon. And then tonight, and you'll be like, what? I need to put more glow-in-the-dark paint on my fireflies because that is awesome. I'm going to try to stand it up. I'm going to keep an eye on them. If they start to drip, I'm going to spin them again. Because I know they're going to try to fall because I put water in mine. Oh, here they go. Spin, spin, spin. Don't you dare. Stop, stop. I just can't. I can't keep up with the drip. I can't. Stop it. Oh, no. I just got to put it down. That was crazy. What was I thinking? If I had a hairdryer, I could dry them right now, and then I could stand it up behind my hairdryer. So I'm just going to have to lay it down flat. I'm just going to put it on my table over here. There. So now I have nothing. Oh, I know. I could put this up here. See, now you can see the glue on here. See how the color comes back when it dries? And it just looks like some glue, like some pieces of glue show. But there's tons of powder. I mean, I buy the best powder. And then I put 2 bags of powder in the gel and stir it. And oh, it's so glowy. That's why my husband thinks there's bugs in our laundry room that glow in the dark. Because I dripped somehow when I was in there. It's like, ah! Like, it's not real, honey. Who feels like they need to put more stars on there now that you're done? You could go back and put stars. Shit, I see Miss Press putting stars. Right? Because You can't tell when there's no fireflies how many stars you need, but to balance the painting after you're done, you might be like, you know, I think I need to put some more stars to calm down the black a little bit. Calm down, black. So who thinks this came out better than you thought it would? Right? And then if you're done, Miss Perez, yours are dripping. Are yours dripping? Spin, lay them down flat on the table. And then lay it flat. Just get rid of, yeah. And then go back and spin them. And then pretend like they have a glow. You know, it's the misty glow around your fireflies. Spin, spin. Otherwise, they will look not good when they're dry. You just kind of spin them back, spin, just make them a little bigger than your firefly. Who would know? I don't know. Anyone else having a dripping problem? Laying it flat on the table is best and letting them dry that way and then evaporate that way. Then you can stand them up. I used to have a studio and I had 12 hair dryers on the wall. And they would hang down like this, upside down, pointing. And then you'd put your painting on the shelf and dry your painting. But I had to put in 2 circuit breakers, brand new boxes to support all that when 12 hair dryers came on. Woo! And then they were so loud. Eventually, that next summer, I bought the quiet hair dryers that don't have that high-pitched scream. Because 12 screaming hair dryers, right? So I redid them all. So that they were quiet hair dryers. But now with Zoom, I don't need no hair dryers. Everything changes. I was all worried about solving that problem. I was all worried about how expensive those boxes, those electric boxes were going to be. And look how long ago that was, and it's not a problem anymore. Life. I figured it out, I guess. I don't know. I came up with the design for those cardboard easels too. I was like, I can't do a Zoom paint. What, I'm going to give them my $20 metal easels? Right? So I go, well, I'll have to come up with a cardboard one. So I just laid on my bed and stared at my ceiling and just kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And it was that that tablet cover that folds over into a triangle that I went, and I just had to make, how many ugly ones did I have to make before I figured it out? A whole bunch of ugly ones. And then finally I figured it out and went, okay, I got it. But now you guys have easels at home. Whenever you need one, you reassemble it. Why do we need easels? Whenever you're doing art, to keep your arms off of your paintings. Who's ever done art and then smeared it with your arms? Right? So easels, because if you're like this, oh my God, what are you doing, right? So easels, even when we're doing charcoal or pencil, it keeps your arms up, your hands up. But your shoulders will get sore for like the first, you have to build up this muscle that holds up your arm above your heart, right? To paint. But you just let it burn and the next day it's stronger, next day it's stronger. Because what do we do all day at school? Our arms are resting on the table and they never go above our heart. But when you're doing art, your arms are up to protect the painting. Have you guys ever seen an artist do this? Right? They're holding a stick across their painting and then they use another paintbrush to go like that. It's because they really want to rest their hand against their painting to be stable, but you can't. So use a big long dowel that rests against your painting, and then your paintbrush rests against the dowel. That's how you can lean in and not touch your painting. There's just tricks, right? And this is acrylic paint, which means plastic paint. Acrylic nails are plastic nails. So we've only had acrylic for like 40 years, and we don't know how long the color lasts. You guys ever leave toys outside and they fade? and they're not colorful anymore because the sun steals all the color away. That's true with acrylic paint too. So if you're a fancy artist, you still paint with oil paint because we know that oil paint lasts for hundreds of years. So we still paint with oil paint, but it takes 5 days to dry. Because it's not evaporating, this is evaporating, they do a chemical reaction and they cure. It's not actually evaporating. It's very weird. So you guys did a really good job. Are you proud? So what if you painted this tomorrow? Wouldn't you be better at it? You would be, and you'd have less fear, and your brain would be like, oh, okay, I just adjust. I don't get mad. I just do better, right? We just learn by doing. Not scary. Good job, you guys.